Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesdays, and sometimes Mondays on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, Coca-Cola James, being joined by Tequila Calico, who may be joining us, probably not, but who is here, Mountain Dew Scooter.
You might have to call me Coca-Cola Spiced Scooter after today, because I got myself a nice bottle of Coca-Cola Spiced. It's raspberry flavored Coke mixed with spices. Yum. This is not a sponsorship.
And your bathroom thanks you as well. It was a good week for Wrestling Wit, as we conducted our first ever Monday interview with Deshaun Showtime Watkins, the owner of Compton Mania. Great interview. Last Tuesday with Maddie, the American Baddie, who just won her first women's title. Congratulations to her. And then last Wednesday, Uncle Money. All incredible interviews. Cannot recommend them enough. Go into our archives to listen to them. Now, this upcoming Tuesday, we have KC Kazana, the son of Joe Kazana, the brother of AJ Kazana. If you remember our interviews with them, he is finally a wrestler himself, teaming with AJ, competing for the NWA. We talk all of that and a lot more. Definitely recommend checking that interview out this Tuesday. And then this Wednesday, we have Big Sam, the stablemate of Uncle Money. We talk about that, competing in China, and a hell of a lot more. Definitely recommend as well. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips now.
Then as soon as the plane was about to board, the flight got canceled.
Oh, no.
And so the quickest or the earliest flight that they were going to get us on would have been like Wednesday at 8 a.m. And so we spent 2 days in Charlotte with absolutely nothing to do. We were going to rent a car and drive back to Tennessee because it's only like a 5-hour drive, so it wasn't awful.
Right.
But nobody would rent us a car for a one-way trip. And so we ended up being stuck in Charlotte for about 2 days. And I think AJ even told Heath about this story. Heath Slater, Heath Miller, whatever they call him. Told him about the story. And he was like, well, baby, I live in Charlotte. You could have just gave me a call. And AJ told him there was like 7 of us. And he goes, oh, maybe not. But then he told Doc, he said Doc was one of the 7. He was like, okay, then it would have been okay. But that was like my only, that's the most recent story I've had. I completely forgot about it because I try to push that memory out of my head.
I'm going to move to Ash Silver directly. He's a friend of mine, so I can go a bit hard on him. So Ash, when we put a match together, he sometimes makes me want to drown him because he does. I mean, I'll give you an example. Me and Zombie Dragon, we can put a match together, and I'm not exaggerating here, 7 minutes. 7 minutes, we got it. Follow the steps. You throw Ash into the mix, you can make it 27 minutes to 2 hours. He will change everything. He's Yeah, this is my big pet peeve with Ash, and I know he's going to listen to this, so he can listen to. And I mean, I've had this argument with him. He'll take ages to put a match together, and he'll change things last minute. And then when everybody's like, "Okay, this is the match," everybody's happy with it. Yeah, yeah. Then at backstage, he's like, "Well, I'm thinking maybe we should do this and we do that and change it up a little bit." And yes, that can come very frustrating, not just for me, but for everybody else involved.
Alright. And then on the 12th, we have Kenzane, 13th, Jim Melancholy, the 19th, Jeremy Prophet, the 20th, Godfather of Swole, the 25th, which is a Monday, just remember that, a Monday, we have Fox. On the 26th, we have Honest John. The 28th, we have Izzy B. The April 2nd, we have Lizardman, Nathan Niles, and the 3rd, April 3rd, we have Zeke and Dino. And then, keeping up with that WrestleMania week, we have a watch along with Seabass Finn of his match from New Japan Dojo Showcase that Thursday, so April 4th. I think we're all done putting ourselves over in hospital.
I'd say so.
Right. It was not a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the news. And a sad bit of news, Ole Anderson, Virgil, and Paul the Butcher Rashawn have all unfortunately passed. Uh, Ole Anderson, arguably a part of one of the greatest tag teams of all times, with Arn Anderson, Minnesota
Uh,
Wrestling Crew.
and with his actual Anderson brother Gene, uh, um, Arn was considered the cousin, and they were Arn and Ole were like the Minnesota Wrecking Crew 2.0. Ole and Gene were the original, the OG Minnesota Wrecking Crew, if you have to call that anything.
I mean, if we're talking about the more famous Minnesota Wrecking Crew, it was arguably it was on and Ole, I would say.
I'd say the Beverly Brothers. No, but it's that gruff voice of his is something I will never forget.
Obviously, after his in-ring career, he was one. He was the booker, right, for WCW.
Yeah. I would equate him to being somebody like Pat Patterson for the WWE. Uh, a lot of original ideas. Um, maybe not the best personal reputation, but what he contributed to this business uh, will go down in history.
Absolutely. As you know, maybe as you said, maybe not the most liked, but arguably, you can't deny his contributions to the business and what he's done. Um, then obviously Virgil was the well, he wasn't the manager. He was the bodyguard for the $1 Million Man. Uh,
And uh, and we said we weren't really gonna delve into this, but I think we kind of have to, only because Virgil was Virgil because of a big screw you to Dusty Rhodes,
and
who's
supposedly, rumor and
uh,
innuendo.
well, Dusty's real name was Virgil.
actually knew that.
Vince did.
I mean,
That
technically, yes.
that's something that's totally a Vince move. Russo or McMahon doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, he was known for being a bodyguard for $1 Million Man. You know, notwithstanding of how he got the name, I do know that there is a story about him, $1 Million Man, losing the $1 Million title, and a Virgil actually came through into the rescue. So it's not all negative when it comes to Virgil as well.
I
Um,
mean, the fact that he kept changing his name. Uh, First he was Vincent, then he was Shane, then he was Curly Bill.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, another polarizing figure in the pro wrestling world. And then you have Paul Vachon, who was the father of Luna Vachon.
Yes. This literally was reported before we started tonight. Uh, you might not be familiar with Paul Vachon's actual in-ring work, but looking up his life, I think it is something any fan of the business should take a couple of minutes out of their day to look at, because in this business there are the truly good people are few and far between, and Paul Vachon was one of those good people.
And unfortunately, we do not have a lot of time to you know, go in depth about each individual this week. Just too much to talk about. So we'll kind of leave it at thoughts and prayers to the friends and families of each individual. All right. Uh, an interesting bit of news. Maxine Dupree. Um, a video of her. She was at a live event and she was competing. Um, the fans were not necessarily receptive to her and her in-ring ability. And a video of a fan booing her, telling her to quit, has somewhat gone viral. And a lot of the wrestlers responded to it. I understand. Maxine is well liked backstage, and rightfully so. But when you when you buy a ticket to a pro wrestling event, you have the right to cheer or boo whoever you want. If fans chose to boo Maxine, that is their choice in the matter. No, Scooter?
Yeah, it's absolutely their choice. It's also a choice to act like a decent human being too. Uh, so it's a a two-way street, and that's one of the great things that having in-ring experience helps you see from the outside in. It gives you that other perspective. That guess what? She can get better in the ring. You cannot be a better human being.
Okay, well, again, you have the right to boo and cheer whoever you want. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you Maxine is, the best wrestler in the world. Um,
Far
Not a
from
lot
it.
of people will. Um, but if you're going to be in this business, you kind of have to understand that. Kind of, know that you're not going to be liked by everybody, that you are going to get booed by some people.
Yeah,
And, that's the reason she's doing these live events, is to get better. I only
yeah,
think she's like, what, 10 matches into her career?
yeah, yeah, and there was a point where she wasn't going to get in the ring at all. Um, but I think the comparison needs to be made here. When Trish Stratus started, um, she was not the best in the ring. Far from it.
Very true.
And
Arguably one of the best of all time.
so it's the truly great female wrestlers are like fine wines. They take time to achieve their full bloom, and once they do, you won't be able to get enough of them.
Well, I mean, ring wise, yeah, not the best. But I don't think there's any denying that Maxine is actually really good on the mic and one of the best characters that WWE has. Um,
It's funny. Earlier today, I was actually talking to Otis. Otis, the latest pro wrestler to take to Twitch and streaming. But he was streaming under the Alpha Academy. So
he was streaming what he was eating.
no, he was playing
Fruit
Call of
Ninjas,
Duty,
cooking
Call
mama.
of Duty, Call of Duty Zombies.
I think it's just a matter of time and people not wanting to be patient with the process. Not everybody's a Kurt Angle. Not everybody is a Bianca Belair. Not everybody's a fish to water. Sometimes it takes time to grow gills.
You gotta swim before you can walk.
Exactly. And before you swim, you must crawl. Alright, what else do we have? Keeping on WWE news, there was a mega return this week. Ty Dillinger.
Mm,
You
yeah,
have
except it's not Ty Dillinger.
he's Ty Spears.
He's Shawn Spears. They let him keep the name.
How the fuck does that work?
It's his actual name.
But I mean, they know him as Ty Dillinger.
How many of the current NXT fans can tell you that they remember the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger?
Well, considering they're literally in the same area that they filmed it when he was still there, I'd say about a fair amount.
He also has put on quite a bit of muscle since since leaving and coming back. Part of me thought that they were actually going to make him number 10 in the Rumble.
They did that already.
I know they did it twice in a row, but still.
Do it a third time.
I mean, the fact that those NXT promos had us all fooled, because let's be honest, that stuff in NXT has come to be like throwing spaghetti against a wall and seeing if it will stick. It was definitely a shock.
But was it a good shock or a bad shock?
Oh, that was a good shock. That was. I love when pro wrestling can genuinely surprise me.
Considering that it was really nowhere that he was coming back,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah, that was not on anyone's bingo card. I can guarantee you that.
And I think that's kind of the problem in one sense. He was Ty Dillinger, Shawn Spears, not exactly on anybody's radar.
So, now NXT has a chairman.
Yay. Yay? Question mark?
To be continued.
Da da da. I mean, he is an NXT, so obviously he could help some of the younger talent. God knows that they need it. Considering, guys like Braun Breaker are, already on their way out, just a matter of time. Uh, so on that front, that's great. But like, how many of it's weird to say, but how many of AEW's rejects could WWE take back? You know what I mean?
I mean, if they were WWE's rejects to begin with, part of me thinks that that's why they were so quick to sign back QT.
That's right. And apparently to a very lucrative deal as well, depending on who you ask.
Now the question is, does he bring his wife with him?
QT?
No, Spears.
Oh,
Oi, comics. Which let's be real. The time to do that has passed.
did it?
I mean, where were they?
I don't know. I haven't seen them in like years.
No. Where was Elimination Chamber?
Oh, Australia.
There.
I mean, they were at the last one, so I mean, it doesn't really count.
Fair enough.
I mean, then you would. I'm not sure that Peyton Royce and Billy Kay actually wrestle anymore. I think they retired, so.
Yeah, they have. I know they've retired at least from teaming together. But I think Peyton could have a nice singles career if she decides she wanted to pursue that.
I'm not sure. I feel like Billy was the more interesting of the two.
I mean, when they did that whole sticking, they like, their chest out and like, you know, Tony Storm clearly stealing that. You know, I was like, are they like trying to show that they're guys that have guts? That always looks so off to me. But the other thing you have to remember is being a pro wrestling couple is now an advantage.
Because if you want one, you have to have the other.
That's almost. I'd say that's a 51-49 split.
I'm not sure. Alright. I mean, I can remember that there was one. What is her name? Michigan and Keith Lee. They're not in the same place.
Yes, they were. They were both under contract.
No, she's WWE. He's AEW.
I know, but they're locked into contract. Peyton Royce is not.
And I mean, if we're getting really super technical about this, CM Punk and AJ Lee.
Well, that's in the that's been in the pipeline as far as I heard, and when Punk heals up, there's a very good chance we will see Punk and AJ against Becky and Seth.
I don't know about it. Oh. I find this interesting. An indie pro wrestler named Patrick Scott has since retired and became a WWE writer.
Yes, I saw the story. That was almost surprising as learning Freddie Prinze Jr. had been hired by the writers.
Freddie Prinze is back in WWE?
I mean, he's been recording all the A&E stuff, Rivals, Legends biographies.
I mean, also Renee Paquette is on those things, so I mean.
Well, I mean, no, this is for the new season.
Yeah, Renee is on those.
For the upcoming new season, which actually starts tomorrow night.
No, it started last week.
It's the Rock and Triple H one and the Sergeant Slaughter biography. They did the biography last week. Rivalries starts tomorrow, and it starts with the Rock and Triple H.
And I saw it last week. Rock and Triple H.
No, I'm sorry. It's Savage. It's Savage and Jacob Snake tomorrow.
Let's stick with Patrick Scott. Obviously not a guy that was WWE. Does an indie wrestler have a place as a writer?
I mean, you would think he would have to, since somebody recognized something in him enough to sign him. Somebody had to have been keeping tabs on him.
In your approximate guesstimation, who would that necessarily be? The only one I could really tell you for sure does things like that is William Regal.
It's that's quite possible. This also might be enough. This could very well be a Freddie Prinze Jr. suggestion.
How would Freddie Prinze even know who this guy is?
Freddie Prinze Jr. is responsible for getting Jeff Hardy his first World Heavyweight title reign.
Because he knew who Jeff Hardy was. Well, I don't exactly know a lot about, this hire, so, we shall see what comes of it. Hopefully good shit, maybe not, who knows. Oh, and really interesting piece of news this week was that one of the plans for TNA, and still is to go live every Thursday. Obviously, that may be not the best idea when, going to different, arenas, ticket sales, etc., etc. But, keeping on, Scott D'Amore, he was lobbying for TNA to go into Full Sail University to record their TV tapings every Thursday. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a very unusual situation. Should TNA go live? Probably not. I mean, when I read about the whole addressing the crowd before No Surrender, I have expected the roster to either walk out or announce that they had actually sold to TKO. But it's I mean, given the fact that they just signed Alex Hammerstone.
Did they know?
Yep.
Yay? Question mark. It seems like TNA, their biggest issue is they got some momentum when they said, "Hey, we're going back to being TNA," and then they became TNA again, and
Nothing changed.
yeah, it's still TNA. What was it like? Maybe like a year or before all of this started, maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months ago. It seemed like they were just happy to be still active. They were the little buddy company for WWE, AEW, New Japan. They literally worked with every single company because literally no company saw them as a threat.
Hmm.
And, that's fine. Just to be that. Not every company needs to be WWE level.
Um, I think something that has to kind of be taken into account is the the wide availability of TNA's primary broadcasting channel, which is Access TV, which a lot of cable companies have dropped. I know Verizon did it because I can't record it anymore.
Right.
And it's the same. It's the same for I can't record I can't record New Japan anymore. So
Well, in your defense, you don't actually watch New Japan.
I mean I watched a little bit, but I had to clean out my DVR.
This kind of always happens to TNA. They garner a little bit of, attraction, a little bit of interest, but they never are able to hold it.
Yeah. Uh, they make steps, but then they trip and fall down the fucking staircase.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Alright, I think that will be our conclusion of the news.
Yes.
And now,
Yeah.
a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE Elimination Chamber review. Took place last Saturday in Port Western Australia at Port Stadium. Attendance was 52,590, and which is actually not as much as it could have been because this The capacity is 61,000, and then it just goes up. 65, 70,000, 73,000 is a record attendance. So they
And
kind of, huh?
you gotta also take into account the space that gets taken up for seating. So you can't really judge that. Judge at least in pro wrestling event attendance. Yeah, based on it, an arena's full capacity for non pro wrestling events.
Well, what I'm going with is that they could have easily fitted another 10,000 people in this arena. I wonder if that will play a factor if whether or not they go again. I'm not entirely sure what the setup was as well, so maybe that's for the looky look after this. Um, your thoughts on the show as a whole?
It started out with a bang and it went out with a whimper. There was uh, the women's chamber, best match of the night. Everything else was bland and predictable. I I don't think Rhea got the best match she could have out of Nia Jax. Was it a mistake to make that match the main event? That's a very it's a very subjective thing to talk about because was she given that spot just because it's her home country?
100%.
And does that taint this match to begin with? Because it didn't turn out to be as great as some would expect.
Well, we'll get into it. I don't necessarily think it was a bad show. You know, like I said 2 weeks ago, it was pretty cut. It's a pretty cut and dry um, thing, and it was exactly what we thought it was going to be: cut and dry, very predictable. Not necessarily bad, but predictable. And that brings us to the first match, the Elimination Chamber match for the women's World Championship match, number one contendership for WrestleMania Extra Large. Becky Lynch defeated Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Rachel Gonzalez, and Tiffany Stratton in 32 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it was definitely a titty time because the people were popping for Tiffany Stratton.
Yep.
They were hot for Stratton.
Yeah, that's surprising. She's definitely picked up a lot of momentum, especially in these past number of months.
Do you think that it
But
was just an occurrence, or is this a pattern?
well, she she got just as much of a reaction on SmackDown.
Okay then.
And that the thing about when something like this happens is that when it does happen, you know it's genuine.
Because she's a heel.
Yes, and she was getting over without having to be put over.
Right. And I mean, she was put over a bit in this match. I mean, this was definitely, if there's one person to talk about in this match other than Becky Lynch, it's definitely Tiffany Stratton.
I might say Raquel Gonzalez, but for a different reason. Poor Raquel.
Who are you talking about? There was no Raquel in this match. You know, obviously, Liv Morgan, always the bridesmaid, never the bride when it comes to these situations. Um, but yeah, I think WWE has an unintentional baby face that the crowd has just chosen to like for whatever reason.
Well, I think that's probably a good thing considering since since now everybody from Damage Control has turned on Bailey, including Dakota. And on SmackDown they alluded to Jade, but having someone like this, like Tiffany, essentially a female $1 million man gimmick, just with titties. I like seeing something like this happen, because then you really have to see how they can adapt to that reaction. And yeah, they did something to earn it in the eyes of the audience.
Right.
Now, what are they gonna do to make sure that they keep earning it?
I think, obviously we're on the road to WrestleMania, so, Stratton is going to be a little bit taken to the wayside. But when, WrestleMania season is over, I think that's where we're going to really see what they're going to do with Tiffany Stratton.
She's I'd say right now she's the odds-on favorite for the women's Money in the Bank match.
Too soon to call, but maybe once Bailey is out of Damage Control rivalry, maybe the first challenger to Bailey.
Well, it's going to be interesting, because if I'm interpreting everything correctly, uh, Jade Cargill might be in the way of that.
I mean, maybe. I mean, you were dead set on her.
I really thought somebody was going to get taken out of the match, and it would have made a bit more sense if someone like Bianca was taken out of the match.
Well,
It's
I will say this: it was a decent match. It was. I don't necessarily feel like ever since they changed from the original chamber to the baby-proof chamber, the Elimination Chamber hasn't necessarily been memorable in any of its matches. It's kind of copy and paste at this point. Um,
The high spots are the same high spots.
right. Nobody's looking to do anything unique or interesting with it.
I mean, is it? You can only watch, plexiglass break so much, and then also don't tell your friggin' audience that it's bulletproof.
But it is bulletproof. But it's not chain-proof.
I mean, if it was bulletproof, nothing should get through it, including a human.
Well, you clearly haven't been thrown hard enough into bulletproof plexiglass to
No,
prevent one.
I just took a dive into a barbed wire table. Is all.
But was there plexiglass involved?
No, and it wasn't gimmicked barbed wire either. In fact, God, how many years ago? It's 14 years later. I'm still picking barbed wire out of my ass.
But that's for another reason completely.
Yes, I have pica. So,
How many stars do you give this match?
I will give it 4.
It was pretty cut and dry. The right people got some shine. The right person won. Yeah, alright, I'll give it 4.
I will say I kind of hate the last 2 elimination rushing scenario. I mean, for the last 2 that are gonna be in there, give them some time. Give them time at the end of the match to work.
I mean, these were. Honestly, it's only 30 minutes. A little over 30 minutes. It kind of seemed longer than that.
I mean, you had Liv score basically the biggest elimination of the match,
That's right.
only to get literally 3 seconds later to get manhandle slammed and match over.
But then you would have the crowd being. You didn't want the crowd to turn on Becky for Liv. But you also wanted to keep Liv strong, if that makes sense.
What? Why does that sound like a bracelet slogan to me?
You don't know where I get my references from.
Live strong.
Alright, let's get into the next match. Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest successfully defended the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships against Pete Dunne and Tyler Masturbates. The
New Catch Republic, which I'm sorry, that's the stupidest fucking name for a team ever. First of all, in NXT, you've got the No Quarter Catch crew.
the fuck?
Yeah, Drew Gulak, Charlie Dempsey, Damon Kemp, and Miles Bourne.
I have no idea who these people are.
Really? Maybe Drew needs to make you a PowerPoint presentation.
Well, I know who Drew is, but I didn't know that Drew actually still wrestled. So
Yeah, And Charlie Dempsey actually just won the Heritage Cup from Noam Dar, who immediately went home and cried to Alicia Fox.
Are they still together?
I don't think they ever were. I think Kalika just gave her too many Capri Suns.
Yeah. I thought he just went back into the Matrix.
Metaphor indeed. Like the new the new crotch republic. What was wrong with British strong style as a name?
It was their name on the independence, and things on the indies are ill. Bad indie, bad. Including indie hardware.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm kind of pissed off at.
What do you mean?
Yeah, okay, 4 matches, great. You could have gotten another match. You could have done a 6-woman tag. Yeah, with Bailey, Candice, Indy, and that way Indy can go over.
No. Then that would mean that Candice LeRae was on the actual card, and I'm very anti that. So I'm glad that it ended the way that it did. We completely got off track here. Judgment Day versus the new Kids on the Block. What'd you think of the
Oh,
match?
this match sucked. I wish I hadn't stopped drinking. They. Why do I have a feeling that somebody backstage honestly thought that one of them was Australian?
You might not be wrong about that, but
And like, all right, yes, we're gonna have another. All right, here comes that Australian Pete Dunne. No. All right, here comes that Australian Tyler Bate. No. Finn Balor. No. Davey. No. Tom and Nick Mysterio.
and shout out.
I mean, so shout out to Austria.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something. When one of the most memorable things on this show is R-Truth screwing up.
Right. I didn't think it was a bad match. Maybe a little bit longer than it necessarily had to be, but I don't think it was a little. It's a little tricky to get invested knowing that they wasn't going to win.
And yeah, this whole like mini feud. It probably didn't even need to happen. It felt like they were trying to establish Dunn and Bate as a solid tag team contender in the future.
Yeah, I kind of buy that. And in case you were wondering why the feed went dark during the match, that's because the crowd was giving Dominic Mysterio the finger and telling him "fuck you," just so you know. Only outdone by Finn Balor yelling at the crowd. That's not PG. Stop it. Yeah, and the other Finn Balor was very memorable in this match, but maybe for the wrong reasons, and that's his thumb. So yeah, how many stars do you give this one?
I will give it the number of crabs Dom Mysterio has. I'll be nice, 3.
I give it one Finn Balor broken thumb.
Um,
In all seriousness, I think solid, low key solid match. So three stars. Yeah. All right. Drew McIntyre won the Elimination Chamber for the World Heavyweight Championship contenders match for WrestleMania Extra Large. He defeated Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Logan Paul, and Randy Orton. Um,
hmm.
Once
Can,
again,
can,
pretty cut and dry. It was pretty
can you
obvious who was going to win.
can you guess what part of the match I hated?
Logan Paul hitting Randy Orton with the brass knucks.
No, that was actually logical.
What part?
Are we to believe that AJ went all the way to Australia just to cost not to match?
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't he?
I mean, hey, the company wasn't paying for that ticket.
I mean, look at it this way. When he comes back to America, it's like he was never actually in Australia to begin with. You know what I mean? Because it's so far into the future. He actually gained 3 hours back of his life.
I hate that that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and the airport actually paid him money to go to
Oh,
Australia.
oh wait. We almost forgot the most important thing.
Yeah.
This show was almost hijacked by pirates.
Kyrie Sane, yeah. She's a
No,
pirate!
no, actual like I'm the captain now. Pirates.
What was that guy's name?
Uh, Captain Phillips. Yeah. I
Tom Hanks was supposed to be a part of the show?
they were for some reason they were transporting the chamber by boat,
That's right.
and they ended up sending that boat back to land and storing it onto a like a cargo plane because of pirate activity. And if they had gotten to it at that point, they would have been out in international waters, and there would have been nothing that could have been done.
Man, you could only hope. I hate that Hell in a Cell. That Elimination Chamber. I want them to go back to the original.
I mean, if they can take that first design and fit more cameras that they want. Also, by the way, microphones in the pods, stupidest fucking thing ever.
I mean, they're open, so it doesn't like you know.
No, but they actually said
Yeah,
this year we've got microphones in the pods, but yet no one's gonna talk because they've been told not to.
right.
Like, you know what? I like to, cut off my nose to spite my face. Why not?
How about making them airtight pods?
Yeah, I mean, see, then we have to like paint them all blue, because then we have to decide whether or not they're faking it.
Well, that's a part of the match.
I mean, when you choke a Smurf, what color does it turn? So,
Mm.
see, what I would love, and this is something they actually did in the women's My Rise in 2K23, is they kept uh, at least one of the pods hidden.
What do you mean hidden?
Like, it was blacked out.
Ooh,
You couldn't
okay.
you couldn't see into it. You didn't know who was in it.
I like that.
Um, I think that's definitely something they should consider in the future.
100%. Um, once again, pretty cut and dry. Elimination Chamber match. Ode to Humanity. I will say that it was pretty hard hitting. I'll give them that. There was a lot of um, violence. And MVP of the night was definitely Logan Paul. I did not see that shit coming with him costing Randy Orton the match. It kind of pisses me off that we're going to see Logan Paul versus Randy Orton, obviously at WrestleMania. Um, so yeah, but it was definitely an unexpected what the f moment.
Yeah, yeah, it was, but again, it's almost the same. It's almost the same kind of same finish as the women's.
Without I
You know,
don't want
without
to say
the manhandle
interference.
slam.
Without
Yeah,
the yeah, without the weapons. Yeah. I mean, Drew McIntyre and Becky also started at number one as well. So
see, you know what? That's why I think the War Games rules should apply. No, but the match. Nobody can be eliminated until everybody is in the match.
that wouldn't be necessarily bad, I would say. It would make the
I,
Elimination Chamber a little bit more interesting.
or you know what? Start the match with 4 people and put 4 more people in the pods. Make it an 8-person elimination chamber.
I've always been a big that's always been a big thing for me. I always wanted to see that. So yeah.
Well, I mean, they did the 7-person back in 2019.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they had that gauntlet, and Seth competed for legit about 67 minutes in that to determine the order. Um, Elias got that 7th spot, and the match started with uh, 3 competitors in the ring.
I mean, it goes to show you how memorable these Elimination Chambers matches have been in the past. That you don't exactly remember everything. I think that's the biggest problem. Um, how many stars you give this one?
I'm I'll be nice, 3.5.
I'll match you with the 3.5. Purely the the half a star goes to Logan Paul for costing Randy Orton the match because that was just good shit that I did not see coming. So and it was logical. So all of it worked out for me. All right. And that brings us to the last match, the main event: Rhea Ripley defeating Nia Jax to retain the Women's World Championship in 14 minutes and 35 seconds. Um, Rhea's homecoming. Um, it wasn't a bad match, I'd say. Could have been a better match. Could have been more epic, but
I'm surprised they didn't do more for her entrance.
yeah, they didn't. It was just Rhea's homecoming, and there's not a lot more you could say about it.
You know, I'm surprised the crowd didn't work up a chant of "Thank you, Danny."
Well, she's from Eastern Australia, and this was Western Australia. They don't know her that way. That way.
Now, if only there was an actual Australian state called Eastern Australia.
Oh no, you know.
There is an actual, Western Australia. It's like West Virginia. It's Australia's unashamed inbred cousin.
I'm not going to get into geography with you. I don't have a map in front of me.
Well, just you make sure you watch A&E Geography of Sergeant Slaughter this Sunday.
The fuck? Um, Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax. Thoughts, or do you just want to go into your
I mean,
your stars?
are they thoughts? Are they them hoes over there?
Will you stop it?
What? You said thoughts. Naya's my boo. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that eventually Naya will marry me.
We all have dreams.
Well, unfortunately, this was a nightmare.
To put it lightly, yeah.
But you know what? Hottest moment of the match, the stink face. My home. I mean, this what? This is what? A little more than 13 or 16 minutes.
14 minutes.
Yeah. It shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been the last match. It should have been main event. Or you should have had. You should have had Rhea go up against somebody that that could have given her a better match. That whole dynamic between Rhea and Nia, it doesn't really work on a as a big fight feel.
I don't know about that. I mean,
That dynamic of Nia is the bigger female, And is Rhea going to have trouble, lifting her again? I mean, let's also not, we can't forget that that they gave Nia the laziest finisher possible. The bonsai drop is the laziest finishing move ever.
Tell that to Maxine Dupree.
Hey, Maxine could do that to me. I'll be going through my Pinocchio syndrome, and all she will say is lie to me, lie to me.
Will you stop it? How many stars do you give this?
2.5.
I give it 3. Was it the best match that it could have been? Probably not. Um, was it? Should it have gone on last? Probably, considering Rhea. Um, but yeah, I think it did what it needed to do, and that was put Rhea over. It did that. It was It was a success in my book. All right.
I would say that if Charlotte hadn't gotten injured, we would have gotten Rhea and Charlotte.
That's not a bad thought. All right. This show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs in the middle. Not exactly like I said, pretty cut and dry. Nothing interesting came out of it that made me want to necessarily watch WrestleMania or get hyped for WrestleMania. Alright, and that will conclude our coverage of WWE Elimination Chamber. And we are wrestling with AEW Revolution.
Oh, uh-oh.
God help us all.
Did somebody just take a huge bump?
Yes, and now they're injured for 8 weeks. It takes place tomorrow in Greensboro, North Carolina, at the Greensboro Coliseum. And yeah, I can't necessarily say that I've seen an AEW show in quite some time. From the family members that I talk to that actually do still watch it, even they say that it's quite a grind to find something that they like on the show to keep them watching. You know what? You kind of
Yep.
understand what they mean?
Yep. Absolutely.
So, I'm going to watch this show, unfortunately, but I highly doubt anything that comes out of it is going to make me want to watch Wednesday. Your feelings?
I mean, I will put it on in the background. I won't I won't turn my head to the screen on Wednesday. And yeah, I'll have it yeah, I'll have it, on my my illegal pirating source.
Your Kyrie Sane source.
Yes, because I cannot, in good faith, advise anybody to spend money on this.
Neither can I. But here we go. The first match, the All-Star Scramble Eggs match.
Wait. Before we say anything, this was originally called Meat Madness.
Now it's scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
So we have NDA as Jericho, Horlow, Powerhouse Snaps, Lance Archer, the Honky Hook Kid, Brian Don't Call Me Christian Cage, Magnus, and not interesting enough to come up with an interesting name, Dante Martin. Who wins?
Dante's Inferno, because they're all going to hell.
Shit, that's a good nickname.
Except that's already the finisher for the House of Black. And I can't believe I actually remember that. Jesus.
Do they have any black members yet?
No, but they've got a buddy.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You know, this is a fucking joke of a match. So you know what? For the hell of it, Magnus to win.
Who the fuck is Magnus anyway?
A luchador.
I thought Nick Aldis just decided to come compete for AEW for the hell of it.
Yeah, it's not Brutus Magnus. This is Sin Cara's cousin.
I thought Sin Cara's cousin was Rush.
He's got a number of cousins. You can have more than one cousin.
Well, then things just become a little spotty after that.
That's just how it goes in Lucha Libre, boy. But he's been trying not to be. You know what? Screw it. Forget that. Dante Martin to win. In a match that doesn't make sense to have to begin with, it makes even more sense that the person most likely not to win will win it. That's AEW logic for you, motherfucker.
Well, logically speaking, Chris Jericho should win this match.
No.
Personal favorite to win the match, Hook. Next matchup, we got Fuck the Revival, Dax Hardwood and Cash Wheeler versus the Combat Wombats, John Moxley and Claudio Ida Canoli. Who wins who?
Well, it depends on whether or not Cash gets arrested again. I mean, FTR has fallen from grace. Have they? They really have.
I'll correct you on that. They've fallen out of favor, is what they've done. Fallen out of favor from the puppet master known as Tony Khan. Or Trolley Khan, as I call him.
Blackpool Combat Club to win.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I can't go against FTR in a tag team match, so FTR. Now, if this was a singles match with Dax Hardwood, then that would be a completely different conversation. Alright, we have Christian Cage match with Luchasaurus, Moto Wayne, and the Prodiggity Damian Wayne. They're wrestling Daniel Garcia for reasons I don't even know.
Gee, I get. Is it because the guy that said he wouldn't get injured got injured?
What guy got injured?
The rated R superstar.
Oh shit, he actually got injured?
Yeah, that's the reason they're saying he's not in this match.
Or maybe he just came to his fucking senses to get the fuck out of there?
I mean, I'm pretty sure tomorrow, the show will end with Copeland driving to the arena again, only for him to give the keys to Sting and tell him bon voyage. Only for Copeland to hit him with a spear, and then it's revealed that we've all been punked, and this will not be Sting's last match. Either way, Daniel Garcia is not going over.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now we have Will Ospreay versus Colt Kutska Take Shit Off. I thought they were friends.
Yeah, so did the rest of the AEW audience. They are technically both members of the Don Callis family.
Right.
But it's no secret that Takeshita does not like Ospreay. So it goes back to some sort of, I guess, match they had previously. This is a baptism by fire, so to speak. It's a proving ground for Ospreay. No one's gonna care because any of the good matches you could do with Ospreay, you've already done. And there's nobody else I want to see Ospreay wrestle. Maybe Adam Copeland. That's about it.
I mean, there's nobody I want to see Will Ospreay wrestle in general.
That's also a very good point.
Yeah. You know, it makes perfect logic. You know, Will Ospreay just came out of being with New Japan for the last 10 years.
Yeah. And his first opponent since when signing with AEW is a Japanese wrestler.
Yeah, my point exactly. Alright,
Brilliant!
we got King of the Homeless, Eddie Houston, versus, Daniel Bryan Sin.
Brian Daniel Sound Syndrome.
Yeah. It's for the Continental Breakfast Crown Championship. And if Danielson loses, he has to shake Kingston's hand.
But does he have to wash his hands first?
Low key, I will say that this is probably going to be the best match on the card.
Low-key's not in this match.
It'd be a lot better if it was. But you know. Beggars can't be choosers.
Oh, we absolutely can.
But seriously, I don't think that this is going to be a bad match. I think they're going to put on a good match, probably the best match of the night, if I'm being honest.
Uh, well, it depends on how many crunch wraps Kingston eats beforehand.
Who wins the match?
I mean, I'm pretty sure after this match they will rename it the Intercontinental Championship, and it'll be sponsored by Depends Adult Diapers. And Kingston will win, and he'll once again thank Japanese wrestling legends that he never met at all in his life.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm actually gonna put a prediction out here. Ishii joins the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh God, no. I'll go with Kingston as well. Then we have Timeless Tony Storm defending.
No, you got it right the first time.
Defending the AEW Women's Championship. Against Diana Purrazzo.
Once again, AEW and their brilliant booking. Oh yeah, you know what? Every new woman signing gets a free title match.
I mean, Mariah May didn't get a title match.
Well, I mean, she's not female.
I love the fact that they just brought Mariah May. No explanation of who the fuck she is or what she does. And we're just supposed to accept that we know who she is.
Like, I'm still trying to find out who she is.
I heard she doesn't even know who she is. Concussions are a son of a bitch in AEW.
It's gonna be May. Well, as we say in Jersey,
You don't live in Jersey.
Chin up, tits out, and watch for the show.
Okay.
Yeah, Tony wins clearly.
Yeah. We have the next match is for the AEW World Championship, and that is Pornstash Page versus Isaiah Swerve Strickland versus Sweet Tooth.
Now, after watching Dynamite last week, I thought Page was too injured to the point where he could actually be in this match.
I can tell you I didn't watch it, so I'm just telling you what I got on the wiki page.
I don't know if this will remain if this is gonna even remain a three-way by the time it airs. Is it the right time for Swerve to go over and get and win the title? No, and I say that because Swerve is probably the best thing happening to AEW right now. And when Swerve wins it, and he will, it deserves to be in the main event of the show.
That's right, because this won't be the main event.
There's going to be some sort of clusterfuckery. I bet they're trying to figure out a way to do the first three-way pin. The first triple pin in pro wrestling history.
That's very clusterfuckery.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's AEW. We're almost expecting it at this point.
Oh yeah. And Melcher will still give it 82 stars.
But regardless, Joe's gonna retain. Who the hell else was you know, this is watch this go to a time limit draw too.
Oh God, no. Just, you say it, and I don't want to believe you, but I know that you're probably right.
Like, there's reasonable logic, and then there's AEW logic, which is a logic all its own.
Right. Yeah, that'd be pretty sucky. But it's probably going to happen. So.
But Joe to retain.
Yeah, I believe that. Alright, then we have the match people really want to see. If there was any match that was going to succeed Sting's retirement match, it would be the International Championship match. Freshly pooped Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong. Yeah, it's just Roderick Strong.
Well, they got to do two things.
Yeah.
They got to punch him in the wiener, and then punch him in the wiener again.
A double wiener punch? That's a fucking massacre. I don't know why I bought into that.
Triple wiener punch, which is now available on Sonic menus everywhere. Try our new triple wiener punch.
Why did you make it a food?
I don't know. I'm hungry.
That's not where I thought you were going with this.
And of course the spokesperson for the triple wiener punch is Nyla Rose.
Will you stop it?
Well, will you start it?
Orange Cassidy wins, right?
Clearly, I mean, unless Adam Cole breaks his other fucking ankle.
Oh yeah, yeah, that happened.
But you know what? You know what? You want to. I'm gonna speak more chuckle fuckery into existence.
Oh God, we can't have any more fuckery.
Strong will win by DQ, and then for some reason, Wardlow will use his the scramble match thing, and take the title off Cassidy, without us being told that it could be used for any championship.
Okay. Well, there you go. And then we have the last match, the main event. The reason you probably bought this pay preview, and
The
that
thing
is,
everyone wants to know.
oh, I mean, we know. Oh, we got Sting and Debbie Allen, with Ric Flair, they're wrestling the middle-aged Bucks, um, using their Christian names, Matthew and, Nicholas. Not to be confused with, Braun,
Braun
Braun
Strowman's
Strowman.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they'll pull some twin magic here.
I mean, we could only hope, no?
Well, the Bucks will tap into their amazing psychic EVP powers. What a waste of a retirement match.
You're not wrong, but it is Sting's final wishes. So, in some,
I mean, if you watched Dynamite, they were setting up Ric Flair to be backing the Bucks, and of course, what does Flair do? He actually comes out on Wednesday and he freaking bumps for them. Ric Flair will be missed. Because once they made contact, he basically crumbled into ash.
yeah, I have no idea what to do with that as of now.
Okay, so Sting and Darby, they're the tag team champions.
Yes.
It's Sting's last match, and they win. Yay, we get another tournament.
I mean, logically, and I can't even believe I'm actually saying this, the Young Bucks should win. I mean, if you're. Yes, they don't necessarily need a win over Sting and Darby Allin, to put themselves over, or do anything for their careers. Um,
Well,
but
oh boy.
I mean,
Well,
it just doesn't make sense for Sting to win, right?
well, I'm gonna speak something else into existence.
Oh God, why do you have to speak?
I mean, if you're using, Booker's logic, and not Booker T, the promoter's logic, Darby's gotta turn heel.
Um, does he need though?
Uh, One, it'll be something fresh for Darby. Um, that would probably get the pro wrestling fandoms talking more than the actual result of the match.
But do you want to put one of your most popular stars in Darby Allin and turn them heel?
the thing is that I can see it logically from a storyline point of view.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying
You
that.
know, Darby's pissed that Sting didn't ask him to wrestle him one-on-one.
I know where you're coming from, but when does AEW ever do anything that makes sense?
Well, when they start doing things that make sense, yeah, wake me up.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting a "This Is Your Life" Sting basically at this point. I mean, if they can get, if they can get, Lex Luger to show up in his wheelchair.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
What if they try to? What if they use a fake Sting?
Vampiro?
Barry Windham. Jeff Jarrett. No. Maybe we'll get another appearance from RoboCop.
Oh, God, no.
What? Watch Mark Calloway show up.
I don't even know who that is.
He makes golf balls.
Oh, okay. Sting have a golf sponsorship?
I mean, he's gonna have to start playing golf. I mean, what the hell else is he gonna do?
Yeah, makes sense to me.
What? How do you think somebody like Sting would handle his? What is this? Like his sixth retirement?
I mean, I was at the one in 2009, so
Woo! I'm a choo choo.
I don't remember him ever saying that.
No, that's because it was Ric Flair that said it.
Woo, I'm a choo choo?
Yeah, he said it on an episode of Impact. You know, when Impact was trying to be a viable contender for to remake the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, I watched that in Vegas.
Who wins the match? Sting and Darby or the middle-aged Bucks?
I mean, clearly the Bucks are going to go into full asshole mode.
When have they came out of full asshole mode?
Well, usually you pay extra for that kind of action. But you know what? I did speak to the Young Bucks earlier, and they told me that this match is one they really want to win. Because it will make no sense whatsoever, and we're gonna get a friggin' ticker tape parade in the center of the ring, and then Sting is gonna ascend back up into the rafters. Watch. You know, Remember at Survivor Series 2015 when they did the whole, the many faces of the Undertaker?
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna get with Sting.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have Surfer Sting and Sting without face paint. You can stick it, Sting.
Sting
Crow
from
Sting.
U2. From the
Sting.
Police.
Yes, thank you. Crow Sting 2.0.
Wolfpack.
Wolfpack Sting. With Kevin Nash nowhere in sight.
Because he's still under contract with WWE.
I mean, would you really consider him and Sting friends? There seems like there's just more people. And since Sting is a big Jesus guy, he's a born again.
He's a big Jesus guy? That's how you decided to phrase that?
Yes, he is a born again Jesus freak. Just like HBK.
Okay.
I expect to see Sting open up his own, ministry and do infomercials.
Maybe he'll sell FTMs or NFLs or
NFTs.
NFTs.
No, he's gonna sell the Sting grill. It's the Hogan grill, just with Sting's face over the picture of Hogan. Because they have a warehouse full of those things that didn't sell. And it drains the fat right into my ass!
I'm going with the Young Bucks. That'll conclude our coverage of Revolution or Evolution or whatever the fuck it's called. Join us next week as we do a review of this show. God help us all. And this will conclude this episode as a whole. So, thank you for listening. Question mark. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. Vote on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Red Energy and Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Casey Kazana. This Wednesday as we interview Big Sam. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Scooter?
Well, as always, find me on X at Scooter Dust. The X profile pick challenge is still open. Nobody has guessed it. Do you want to win a 3-year worth of Peacock? Well, then you might want to take a chance and guess what my X profile picture is.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.